Alright, like last night we crossed into, in the evening we crossed into Cameroon, and everyone had been talking about this river crossing before the immigration hut. And they said, oh yeah, the river crossing, blah blah blah, and everyone carries on about the river crossing. It was nothing. It was literally, not even knee deep, and it was a bit of slippery in and out, but I mean, nothing compared to what we've been driving all day. So we got to, so the Nigerians, before we came down here, the Nigerians were like, yeah, once you get to the town, the village at the bottom, it's a normal road all the way to Banyo. So we got to immigration in Cameroon and did the whole immigration thing. Got to a boom and they were like, okay, apparently there's a flat area here where you can camp. So Tim went ahead of me in the truck and that thing's awesome, but it just destroys the road. I mean, the road was just mud, just mud, and when he went through, it was just this plow track, and he tried to reverse, and then I went after him, and I couldn't even steer. I literally was just letting the Land Rover go where it wanted and just controlling the power. And then, the worst crossing, this is some of the hairiest shit we've done. You get to the bridge, and there's no barrier whatsoever stopping you from falling directly into the river like 5 meters below.
And more like 10.
Yeah, and so like 10 meters. And it's complete mud. So you drive towards the river, towards this concrete bridge without guardrails, and you have no control of your steering. You're literally just going and just trying to motivated to go in the area you want to go. So I'm sliding sideways, just seeing this freaking hole coming at me, and I've got Keelan standing in front of me screaming to stop because Mommy's shitting herself.
No, because it was a massive drop, and I wanted to know that it was a big
I know,
drop.
I could see it.
Yeah, you can see.
I know, believe me, I was heading straight at it.
But the
anyway.
thing is, the bridge was also really muddy, so you had no control while you were on the concrete bridge because it was covered in mud.
Very little control, yeah. Anyway, so the whole idea is you just go as slow as possible without people screaming at you. And then on the other side of the bridge, you had a 300-meter climb, which no one talks about on the apps or iOverlander or any of the map stuff. But it was hardcore. It was just gouged, deep ruts, full of mud, completely just a wet, slippery night. I put the poor Landy in second low diff lock and just went for it. And it was so bad that Louisa didn't want to be in the Landy. Now the problem is, and you guys will know, everyone that's done off-roading, when you video something, it doesn't look nearly as gnarly as what it really is. It just doesn't, and I don't know why, but yeah. Anyway, so managed to get to the top. I heard some massive noises coming out of the rear suspension, huge clanging and clunking, and anyway. And then luckily we just found, we were going along, there were some guys who got stuck and we tried to help them, but then they got themselves sorted out. And then I'm busy, 4x4ing while I'm talking to you. And then we came around a corner and there was this perfect flat area. So we just reversed in there and lit the fire and burnt a steak and had a beer.
Cremated
the steak.
Nice one, Ma.
Nice one, Ma. Anyway, so now we're taking the shorter bad road to Banyo, which will take us approximately 2 hours. But it hasn't rained, so it'll be boring.
And also
Put on your mum.
Also, this entrance is about the only way to get in to Cameroon because they closed the southern border, Ika, and you can't go to the Calabar one. And if you go further north of that, you're going to be driving a hell of a lot further.
I couldn't video the monkey because I was videoing this one.
This is basically the
only way
into Cameroon. So, yeah.
Just turn the camera quickly and show people what we're driving with. A2A expedition. We ain't no fake shit.
I think we'll make it literally.
I don't know if we'll do it. The tank will do.
what are you doing?
It's a lot thicker at the bottom than I imagined.
Okay. It's a sandy. Oh shit.
Alright, you need a lot more power.
Okay. I say it's very thick at the bottom.
Okay, tell me.
It's thick. So you're going to get momentum going through it. Otherwise you might just get stuck in the...
After most of our morning was spent on the trail, we finally found our first major sign of civilization after many days. Banyo. We were happy to see this town for two main reasons. Firstly, vehicle customs. Our vehicles weren't officially in Cameroon until we could stamp our carnet de passages. And the second reason was getting the essentials and a SIM card for Cameroon. After doing what we needed to in Banyo, we were pleasantly surprised to find ourselves driving on a fairly decent tar road and put the Landy into fourth gear for the first time in 4 days. But unfortunately, it was short-lived. The tar road only lasted in the mountains. After ascending and descending for about an hour, we saw it. The end of our comfy smooth road. The plateau below lurked with no sign of tar roads, only one very straight muddy path as far as the eye could see. We slowly but surely trekked on through the muddy path for several hours and encountered a police checkpoint with officers that harbored a firm determination to search every nook and cranny of the Landy to find something that would give them leverage for a fine. Even at one point looking through our personal documents and trying to marry Jessica, who was 14 at the time. After he finally gave up, we drove until the road turned from mud to glorious tar. We found a nice place to camp near a river and set up camp. After we set up, a man claiming to be customs said we needed to check in at the next town. We asked for identification and all he could show was his 9mm handgun out of his satchel as some sort of proof.
Cheese, tomato, mayo, ham. Give it to your mother. Did you hand sanitize after kissing that guy's lips?
Yes.
Where's the sharp knife gone?
Probably down this side of the sea. It's really good. You're gonna go on a bad road because I mean you could do a highway without even like sliding that one. But a bad road.
West Africa. Oh, this is like massive.
I know, right? Everybody knows navigate is more important.
Watching so closely. You'll get your fish here, how's it? You should be in the backseat doing this.
Just needed 7,
What?
You didn't film that?
What happened?
I tried to empty the breadcrumbs out the window and it just blew all over.